This is my King Vegeta Gogeta deck. One copy of the leader. 4 Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. 4 Gogeta Fusion of the Gods. 4 Super Saiyan God Goku to the next level. 4 Super Saiyan God Vegeta to the next level. 4 Raditz Young Invader. 4 Super Saiyan Vegeta Exploiting Weakness. 4 Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. 4 Hidden Power E Supreme Kai. 4 Testing the Opposition. 4 Violent Rays. 3 Piccolo Jr. Descendant of the King. 3 Lord Slug Giant Force. 3 Jiren Legend of Universe 11 Unison. And 1 Young Invader Field Card. Alright, the King Auto, when this card is placed into your leader area, you play it to one of your Young Invaders from your deck. So you play your field cards, you start off with 49 card deck. Then through the leader's auto, when this card attacks, look at up to 5 cards on top of your deck, add up to 1 mono red Saiyan card with energy cost 5 or less among them to your hand and shuffle your deck. So this will help you, obviously look through, let you look through the top 5 of your cards deck so you can add a Saiyan 5 or less. So pretty much you have all these targets you can choose from. Except for the 6-drop Gogeta, and you don't want to grab the Raditz. Obviously, when you mulligan, you always want to put the Raditz back in the deck because you want to bring them out through Young Invaders, of course. We have Goku and Vegeta, they allow you to not him, but Vegeta, of course, allows you to look at the top 5 cards of your deck and add a Saiyan with energy cost 5 or less, or a rare unison with specified cost of 1, but we don't have those 1-drop unison. But so we got some deck thinning right here. That plus with Piccolo Jr. ability to draw, should have a pretty thick hand that you're playing. And then we have the Awaken when you or your opponent's life is 4 or less. You may draw a card, switch one of your G to active mode. Add cards from your life to your hand until you have 5 life. Flip this card over. Permanent, reduce the combo cost of all red Saiyan cards with 500 power in your hand by 1. Auto, when this card attacks, draw a card. Second auto, once per turn, when the power of one of your opponent's cards is decreased, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and it gets negative 10k power for the turn. Of course, you can combine that effect with a Lord Slug Giant Force and end up minus 20k from one of your opponent's battle cards. Your turn, or you can combine it with Jiren's auto, as well as you can combine it with Jiren's active battle ability. It's minus 3 effect to drastically reduce the power of a battle card. So if you combine it with his auto, you'll minus something by 20k, 10k from Jiren and 10k from leader. So this is a floodgate ability right here. So be very helpful against your opponent playing, especially if your opponent only plays 1 battle card per turn. If the battle card has 20k power or less, you just be KOing them turn. So that's always useful. Then we have Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta Technique Unchained. He's 35k double strike with EX Evolve. You need a mono red Gogeta BR with an energy cost of 5. This is the target for it. Permanent, this card can't be KO, so it can't be Charismatic Villain Frieza, for example. Also, because it EX evolves for free, if your opponent God Seals, which obviously will prevent it from being actually played, it'll go back to your hand. You could play it. You could play it again since you never successfully played it because your opponent stopped you with God Sealing. You could play it again for free. So keep that in mind. Pretty much this card is immune to Charismatic Villain Frieza and God Sealing Trunks. First auto, when this card evolves into this card, choose up to one of your red Unison cards and add 2 markers to it. And you can't play battle cards for the turn. Second auto, when this card or one of your opponent's cards attacks, You may choose one of your opponent's cards and it gets minus 20k power for the battle. If you do, negate the skill for the turn. So pretty much once per turn you can do that ability. Very awesome effect to have because of the fact that you can swing with this to your opponent's leader, minus 20k to your opponent's leader, which makes your opponent's leader minus 5k. So right off the bat, your opponent's going to have to combo 20k power just to get it back, their leader back to their base power on their awakened side, and then combo up from there. So they'll need 20 just to outcombo this attack. They'll need 20 to get back to 15, and then 20 more. Not 20 more. 30 more. Wait, am I saying right? 25 more. 25, 15 is 40. Alright, so they need 25 more just to get their leader up to 40k, just to outcombo this attack. So that's a total of 45 combo power just to try to outcombo this. So, gotta love that. It inherently has the ability to force your opponent to have to use 45 combo power just to try to outcombo this. And this is without you even comboing, so that's the point I'm making there. So that's really badass. So, obviously it's better your opponent negates the attack. Instead of wasting time trying to outcombo it, but it's really awesome. So, basically we have him there for that. That's our finisher. Gogeta Fusion of the Gods has the flex, so that already deals with God Sealing, and then he has the permanent he can't be KO'd, so that deals with Charismatic Frieza, Union Fusion, pay 3 red, draw 2 cards, and you need a red Goku BR and a red Vegeta BR, which are the next levels. So the next levels are the fusion materials for Vegeta. Although if your leader card is red, which it is, when this card is played, choose up to one of your red unisons and add a marker to it. Then choose all of your opponent's battle cards, and they get minus 50k power for the turn. So this could potentially board wipe your opponent's board. And you can combine it with the leader's effect and minus 10k from one of your opponent's battle cards to further help you clear their board. Of course, you could combine it with Lord Slug's +1 ability to minus 10k from something else. So should be able to clear your opponent's board. Especially, this is really useful for clearing your opponent's board of blockers. So that way, once you drop your Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta Technique Unleashed, the only thing you have to worry about would be a negate in that situation. Because it's going to be hard for your opponents to combo this attack, obviously. The fact you got rid of blockers, it would be hard for them to block. Goku then to the next level. 19k blocker, auto once per turn at the end of the turn. Or when this card activates, blocker skill switches to card attack mode, so that's really useful. So the fact you can attack with it on your turn, then at the end of your turn switch it to active mode. And the fact that it can do switch to active mode after blocking allows you to block with it twice, so very awesome. Active main, pay 1 red energy. You may choose one of your or your opponent's red Raditz BR or Goku BR cards with an original power of 500. Place it at the bottom of his owner's deck. If you do, play this card from your hand. Obviously, in order to make sure we have synergy to be able to play both Vegeta and Goku for 1 energy, we're using the Raditz Young Invader for that. So, gotta love the fact that that's an option. Because if they made it where you only use Goku BR and Vegeta BR, then that would be, it'll make it tougher. The fact that they give you Raditz as an option makes it where this Raditz can summon either Goku or Vegeta, which is nice. So they're essentially 1-drops in this deck. Then we got Vegeta to the next level. Unique, critical. So take advantage of that crit with the double strike crit, right? Auto, when this card is played, look at up to 5 cards on top of your deck. Add up to 1 red Saiyan card with an energy cost of 5 or less, or up to 1 red Unison card with a specified cost. 1 among them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Obviously, we use this to help us grab some of our key cards. Gogeta play, 5 costs or less red Saiyan cards. And then active main, you choose yours or your opponent's Raditz, and then evolve on. Put it at the bottom of your deck. Then you play the Vegeta for 1 energy. So there's that. Raditz, Young Invader Auto. When this card is played, if your life is at 5 or more and your opponent's leader card is Red King Vegeta BR card, place 1 card in your life. Just drop it and draw a card. Of course, you'll be playing this on your opponent's side of the field, so this effect will trigger on your opponent's field, so your opponent will have to take a life. They have 5 or more life. So this can help you get your opponent down to 4 life. If you play enough of these. So that's always good. What's extra nice is the fact that if your opponent goes first, you typically end up giving them a Raditz right off the bat, so they automatically lose a life. So your opponent automatically starts off the game with 7 life. That's extra fun, Gotta get the game started, right? So I love that advantage right off the bat. That's less work for you, which is why I like this strategy. The King! Super Saiyan Vegeta, exploiting weakness, counter play this card. Permanent, if your leader card is red, which it is, reduce the cost of this card in your hand by 2, so it's a 3-drop on your opponent's turn. Well, 3-drop period. Auto, when you play this card, choose all of your opponent's battle cards and they get minus 20k power for the duration of the turn. If it's your opponent's turn, choose up to 1 of your leader cards and it gets plus 5k power for the duration of the turn. So if leader's awakened side, you can make them 20k for the duration of the turn, which is nice. As well as your minus 20k to your battle cards, and then along with the leader's ability, you can minus 10k more. So you can easily take down a 30k battle card if need be. Plus, you can drastically reduce the power of all your opponents 30Ks down to make them down to 10Ks, and of course the leader will be 20Ks, so it'll be hard for your opponents 10Ks to run over Vegeta. The King! Father and son combo. Gotta love the synergy there. Then we got Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. Deflect Auto. When you play this card from your hand, choose all of your opponent's battle cards with 20k power or less and KO them. So there's a board wipe right there, just like the Vegeta can board wipe your opponent to the right conditions. Active main, pay 2 red. If your leader card is red, which it is, you can place this card from your hand to the drop area and choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignore and barrier, and minus 25k power for the turn. So of course this will help you deal with any problematic battle cards that has barrier, like a deadly defender or something like that. So this helps you with that. And then of course the effect combined with the leader's effect can help you minus 35k from a battle card, so you can take down a Dark Broly blocker or something. Then we got Hidden Power E Supreme Kind. Obviously combo for 1 energy, 10k power, and you could choose to give the card you're attacking with double strike. So obviously combine this with your cards that have crit, or Slug and Vegeta. You can obviously double strike crit with opponents. Then we got Testing the Opposition, counter attack if your leader card's mono red, which it is. Negate the attack, play 1 Cyberman token with 5k power, 0 cost 5k combo power, and the token gains blocker for the turn. Permanent, if your life is 5 or less, you can add a card from your life to your hand in order to play this card for free. This effect is not once per turn, so you can play as many copies of this card on your turn. In that turn, if you could afford it, and you can potentially stop 2 attacks per copy. So that's good for against going wide strategies and decks that use dual attacks. Then we have Island Rays, counter attack if either card is rare, which it is. Negate the attack. You may choose 1 card in your hand and discard it. If you do, choose one of these effects. Your opponent can't attack with battle cards with 20k power or more for the duration of the turn, or your opponents can't attack with unisons with 20k power or more for the turn. We always use the battle card effect. Unless you're going to combine this with Vegeta exploding weaknesses, then you might want to use the unison effect. So if you use this to block a leader attack, for example, then use the unison part of this card's effect. That way they can't attack with their 20k or higher unison, and then drop the Vegeta exploding weakness. So that right there will cost you 4 energy to do so, and you should be able to survive the turn. Then we got Piccolo Jr., Descendant of the King. Auto, when your opponent activates a counter skill, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 15k power or less and KO it. So, of course, along with the leader's effect, its ability to, if you use a Young Invader effect as an active main where you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and it gets negative 5k power for the turn, triggering the leader's effect, so you can minus 15k from a battle card, so you can turn a 30k into a 15k, and then anytime your opponent plays a counter skill like a counter play or counter attack, like counter attacks like negates, then you'll be able to obviously remove that card, so have synergy with that. It's a good way making sure you can get rid of any problematic battle card every turn. If your opponent is, obviously using counter skills, has a +1 ability, so you can draw a card, so card advantage. Getting +1 markers obviously lets it stick on the field longer, so you can keep applying pressure with it. And its -2 ability, choose up to one of your red battle cards with energy cost 3 or less. Choose all of your opponent's battle cards with power less than or equal to the chosen card and KO them and gain Rejuvenate for the turn. Our strongest 3-drop, are 19k Gogetas, so you can combine this with them and board wipe your battle cards 19k or less. So there's that. Obviously, like I said, if you use Young Invader, you could definitely weaken something down to being 15k weaker, the leader plus Young Invader's effect, so that way you can make sure you can get rid of something with this. So there's that. Then we have Lord Slug Giant Force, +1, has 15k crit, which is nice. +1 ability, choose 1 card from your hand, discard it. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignore and bear, and give it negative 10k power. So obviously, if you combine this with the leaders, you'll be able to minus 20k to a battle card, and then you can use Young Invader to do 5k extra, so you'll be able to do 25k every turn. So that's very useful, of course. This -4 auto. Your leader card is red, which is when your opponent activates a counter skill, deal 1 damage to your opponent. Really useful effect. Makes it hard for your opponent to play a counter skill because it's going to cost them, especially if they're using something like Test in the Opposition. Try to play a card like this for free or Sparking Negate. They're going to end up losing 2 life instead of 1. So that. It's Jiren, Legend of Universe 11. Auto, when your opponent plays a battle card or unison card, you may choose that card and it gets negative. And it gets negative 10k power for the turn. If you do negate the skill for the turn, so you can use this once a turn. Combining this with the leader's effect, of course, you'll be able to do minus 20k to a single battle card, or you can, obviously divide the effect. Do 10k to one battle card, then do 10k to another battle card, so that way you can increase your chances of survival for the turn. Then he has a +1 ability. This card gains double strike for the turn, so it'll be 20k double strike. for the turn when you use the +1 ability, and it has a -3 ability. Active battle. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignore and bury. It gets negative 25k power for the turn. So that's really useful. And of course, the field card Young Invaders. Auto. If your leader card is King Vegeta BR card at the start of your opponent's turn, play up to one red Saiyan card with 5k power from your deck to your opponent's battle area, then shuffle your deck. If you played a card, you can't play battle cards that aren't red Saiyan cards for the turn. Obviously, this is why we don't use Topo in this deck. Topo good, but don't use Topo. Because obviously once Young Invaders triggers, you can't Topo. But you can still play Vegeta exploding weaknesses, so that's a thing. So keep that in mind. Active main. Once per turn, add up to one card from your life to your hand, then play up to one red Saiyan card with 5k power from your deck in rest mode with the skills negated for the game, then shuffle your deck. So obviously this effect is a good way of, it's add up to one life, so you don't have to add a life, so you can just trigger this for free and just play a Raditz in case you just need an evolved target. So that's the thing. Another cool thing to remember, Raditz, unlike most of the other Young Invaders, they have unique. Raditz does not, so you can play multiple Raditz. So that's another something about the little Raditz. Baby Raditz! So, because normally the other ones, in order to play more Young Invaders with the field card, you have to get rid of it because of the unique thing and play another one, play another one, play another one. So, that's a thing. And of course, this second active main. Once per turn, pay one red, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets -5k power for the turn. So, and that's the end of the video.